What's up, Digidestins? This is Kyle D, better known as Ridemyavatar, and today we're going to go over the major top lists of Latin America's finals. Well, I got about top 8 to be able to look at, and then we're missing only a couple decks left and right. I obviously don't have them, but you know what? You'll probably find someone else that'll have the rest for you. They're kind of being secretive, and I don't blame them. So let's dive right into the video, and let's see what we got going. So let's take a look. So we have Daniel, Kevin, Lewis, and Diego with Security Control. Security Control. Jessamon taking 3rd place yet again, boys and girls. That is quite amazing for the Jessamon League. And then we have Lilithmon Loop, which took 1st. I am very impressed, and it seems like Lilithmon Loop is the overarching deck. The rest were very amazing as well. We have Gabumon, Gabumon, then followed by top 16 and Jessamon, Gabumon, Agumon. Probably another Gabumon here. We'll find out at a later point in time. Lilithmon Loop, 3 Musketeers. Then we had another questionable deck, probably another Gabumon or something Security Control related. I would love to see D Brigade, but you know, we don't know. Agumon, Gabumon, Green Control, Gabumon, Security Control, Agumon, Jessamon, Green Control, Machine Dramon, questionable, Gabumon, Security, 3 Musketeers, and then questionable. This is from Digimon Latam, and I really appreciate all the hard work they put into this. So first off, we do have the Lilithmon Loop deck. So let's take a quicker zoom in. Can we get a little bit further in? Sometimes Zoom just does not want to work with us. So let's take a look. It's kind of a basic Lilithmon Loop deck. Nothing out of the ordinary. Uses the Rebellions. They're using Analog Youth, and they're using Takumi Abia to help slow down the Rush Bonds decks and stuff like that. Everybody kind of playing in this rookie rush category, and it really does help out slow them down. That's kind of where I'm thinking he went for. And then they had Jack Raids, Gazimon, a full play set just to shut down any of the memory boosters that they're going to try to use and stuff like that, so they have to rely on their tamers. Mega Digimon Fusion, this card is going to get banned by February 22nd. So it's really awesome to see Lilithmon Loop putting in the effort and strong games to be able to win this. Ultimate Underworld Calling, being able to play your Ginkamon Promotes, and that's what really the deck is doing. It's trying to spam out Ginkamon Promotes to keep constantly just rushing your opponent after you do your Zawart plays, and it's just a full-on loop. Your opponent can't out it. So keep that in mind. It's a really powerful deck, and I'm not surprised it took 1st. Let's zoom out real quick. That's a little too close to comfort. This was the 2nd place list. Security Control. Kevin took it. And let's just take a look. We have Craniumon, 3 Bellastar, 2 Craniumons, Omnimons Zawarts, Mistamons, 3 Salas, Magna Angemons at 3 Ultimate Flare, Wyvern Breath, Reinforced Memory Boost, Mechanori, Geogreymon, Cordramon, Lucamon, Izzy Joe, tie. Very interesting to see this tie, but I'm guessing it's to make it so your Craniumons at least 13k. 3 Sukuyamons, really to shut down any of the Bonds and Jessamon decks, because if they have -3 security, they're not going to hit as hard. And especially with Jessamon, that might be just means 1 security check out of the 4 they could have had, and that slows them down immensely. So a really solid list. Congrats, Kevin. 3rd place, we had Jessamon. So let's take a look if I can zoom out just a tad bit more. And then we got 1 Analog Youth, and that's quite interesting. It seems like Analog Youth is that spicy tech that they're all teching in just to help add consistency into this deck. The Guillemon's a little new for this list. They're using the War Greymon, which is not bad, especially if you could just restand the War Greymon for shutting off options and swing once, twice, a couple times actually. You get like 2 swings out of it with an extra security check. I mean, it's not a lose-lose situation at that point. 2 Seals, 3 Blancs, 1 Jessamon. So it's not terrible. I really like where it went. This is a pretty solid list. Another security control list by Diego. So this Bellastar, you got Happy Flow, Bullet Shower, and 3 Swarmers, and 7 Heavens. Really nice having Holy Wave and Tactical Retreat to reset the Cordramon and Geogreymons, and then the Zord Defeat back on top. So that's kind of what they're trying to do, is just constantly either have it pop up in security, instantly recover, or put the Geos, Cordramons, or Zord Defeats back on top, setting up your opponent to really be at a disadvantage. So we got 3 Izzy Joes and 1 Izzy. Not a bad ratio. Reinforced Memory Boost is going to get hit, so not bad at all. Definitely in the top 4, definitely played it out. Sadly, we do not have what came in what position in the top 8 because they don't like to give that. But this Agumons deck, pretty interesting, I gotta say. I'm very impressed of what it does. It's got 2 Dedicated Plan, 2 Trident Revolvers, 1 Rattling Star, Reinforced Memory Boost, 2 Gaia Force, 2 Atomic Blasters, 3 Marcuses, and then 4 Ties. I get what Trident Revolver is trying to do here. At least it pops something. So it's like an Atomic Blaster. At least it pops a 6,000 DP or something like that. And then you get to play a Tamer free. So basically, for the cost of what, 2 or 4 more, 2 to 4 more, depending. If I remember, this is a 6. Yep, 6. So he's gonna come in. So you basically get a pop for 2 and play a Tamer. So I mean, that's not terrible. And I think Lightning Joust is a very nasty little combo you give to the Greymon here. So instead of playing the Skull Greymon, you can just play Lightning Joust, and it does the same thing, making your Greymon roughly bigger. Yes, it doesn't play the Agumon back to set you up, but hey, it really does help out at the end day. I think that's a really solid way. We got Gabu Bonds here, obviously one of the best decks to compete against. It's really nice to see that it's taking up on the lower end and not the full end, so it's really awesome. We got Howling Memory Boost, Ice Walls, Rattlestar, Hammer Sparks, Gabu Bond, Gabu Bonds, Davis, and then Matt Ishida. Just draw Central, and then 2 Madoke Betamons with 2 Octomons. Really not a bad list. But the Geogreymon is in there just for that surprise pop security. Vidramon's in there for the extra swing in for early game damage. So I think that's really, really solid. Then we have another bonds list. This one is just regular bonds. So you got Ice Walls, Hammer Spark, and then Bonds of Bravery, teching into analog use. So when your Bonds of Bravery dies, Bonds of Friendship dies, not bravery. I'm sorry about that. You can instantly use analog use, rest it, and then boom. Congratulations, it could pass back to your turn, especially if you used Ice Wall. If you're at 0, used Ice Wall to pass turn, then analog youth will trigger because Bonds would die if you have any security when he was warped. And then boom, still your turn. You can slam down another Ice Wall, making it 4. So if they swing even once, you're just gaining a bunch of memory. Keep that in mind. And then here is the final top 8. This one was a little more difficult to get my hands on because the only way you could find this one was supposedly through the Digimon meta. So it's really awesome to see this. So we got Bonds, normal Bonds deck with Coyote's Breath and Absolute Blast, Howling Memory Boost to shut down all your opponent's stuff, and it's just 3 KO combo. The Mimi is very interesting. I get it because anytime you activate an option, you can rest her. So, and then, or if your opponent activates an option, you can rest it so that, let's say they're trying to Lilith Loop or something like that, rest both the Mimis. Boom, now that gain 2 memory just got shut off. So now they're in a bad situation. So Ice Wall is still great, phenomenal. And that's really how this is going. I like the list. This was your top 8, by the way. The rest are not fully complete, but at least we have the top 8 to understand what went on here. So then we do have in the top 16, we do have a Bonds of Bravery list Really solid list. You got Gaia Force, Atomic Blaster, Gravity Crush. You got Agu, Greymon, Geo. You got Mechanori for the Spice, Tai Marcus's, and Magnet Angemons with Bonds of Bravery. Agumon's just going to town and being the champ that it wants to be. Another Agu Bonds list in the top 16. This one really spicy, I gotta say. I wasn't expecting the Blitz Greymon, and I wasn't expecting the Metal Greymon and the Skull Greymon. That really was interesting. I mean, I expect the Skull Greymon, but I'm not expecting the Metal Greymon. I get it because if you really look at it when Digivolving, when this Digimon attacks a player, one of your opponent's Digimon with delete one of your opponent's Digimon with 4,000 DP or less. So it's not bad when an attacking skill, but it's also got a nasty, gives a Digimon with Dragonkin Pierce. So this means this one can swing in with Pierce, and then you could just Digivolve into Bonds of Bravery the following turn and not lose out on it. And then it's just built in a stack where it's just really nasty to deal with. And this one pots blockers. So really solid list, and I'm very impressed. Congratulations, Zos. Another Gobble. No. This was top 8. This one was very interesting. We have pretty solid list here. We got Analog Use, another Lilith Loot Titamon deck using the new Lady Deva to help mill and get set up so that Lilithmon will go off more. We have Titanmons, Mega Fusion, 3 Analog Youth, Manoa, Matt. I feel like purple's going places that people are not expecting, so keep that in mind. We have another list here. This is Bealzastar. So Bealzastar is quite interesting, I gotta say. Analog Youth, Matt, you know, all the fun, good stuff here. I'm not surprised that it did well. And again, it's one of the top decks. So let's take a quick look at the top. We're finishing off here. This is top 16. I don't know why this is here. This is not a top 16 list if you are putting it twice. So let's go here, and we're gonna go over the top 16. So talked about this one, talked about this one, talked about this one, talked about this one. This one we've seen already. We have Ancient Troymon Nidhogg with Rafflesiamon green, top 32. Not bad. I'm very impressed. This green is very much a big underdog, and getting 32 is really nasty and huge. We have 32 for the Cranium with security control yet again. With all delete as a spice, I'm very impressed. I'm really excited to see that more and more people are using all delete. That's now a second list in these major events that have used all delete. Then you have your good friend OTK with Mega Gargomon being a locking down mechanism with Mega Kabuterimon to hopefully trigger pops and stuff like that. Terriermons, Flower Cannons, just really interesting list. Then we got Gabumons here again using Leomon. That has an on deletion effect for gaining memory. Mechanori, not bad. Another Gabumon list. I mean, it's all same cookie cutter a bit. Then we have a security control list using Nanimon. Really impressed. And then we have 2 Mastodons in the list too. Really solid, especially against other security control matchups that could help out for the wins. Then we have the Bealzastar list with using 1 Machinedramon and 1 Craniumon. Very interesting. Very interesting. I don't know why, but it seems like just to have 2 decently powerful blockers, especially if you get Craniumon hard played or Digivolved in the line through Rebelli or the big boy here, so that you don't have to waste as much resources. And then the Machinedramon's on play to Digivolve 2 is just really nasty, and their megas, they're hard to get around for the Bonds players. Let's see, we have this is security control with Mastamon and Sayokomons. I mean, very, very impressed by these lists. let's see, we have Bellastar with blue splash, not bad. And then the Machine Dramon list. Machine Dramon is starting to see some weird jankiness. Let me be honest with you, I'm not surprised. The Craniumon is a very solid touch tech. I went over this before that there has been times where Craniumon might be really nasty, especially if you have Machine Dramon out with a bunch of sources and then have the inherentable blocker. The only way you can remove it is de-digivolving it, because if you slam down the Craniumon, the Machine Dramon is just protected all around. Or you just digivolve up and raising, because you can do that here. And then what is your opponent going to really do with the Craniumon? And then you slam down Machine Dramon and your opponent's just really at a disadvantage. I'm very impressed. A lot of good players played out. I mean, seems like the top 16 list was supposed to be the top 8 list from this player is supposed to be here, but they could have played the most similar deck list, so they just used that. So I think this was a very impressive tournament. What do you guys think? Let me know down in the comments, and I'll catch you in the next video. Peace.